my name's Faith Jarvis.
I'm Courtney Layton.
And today we're going to talk to Courtney about her experience with epilepsy and being a college athlete.
Epilepsy is a seizure disorder where one may have unpredictable seizures.
And how do you manage your epilepsy?
I manage my epilepsy by making sure I'm getting enough sleep, managing my stress, trying to stay on top of my grades, and my friends help take a lot of care of me, making sure I'm eating right, getting enough sleep, all that kind of stuff.
Tell us your experience with epilepsy.
So when I was 16, I had my first seizure, so that was around 5 years ago. Since then, I've had 15 to 20. But the day after I had my first seizure is when they diagnosed me with epilepsy. I didn't know what it was at all, which is why it's so important for me to educate other people on it, because you never know. We had no idea. It doesn't run in my family at all. So since then, they've put me on multiple different medications. I've had to try different things, many neurologist visits, EEGs, hospital visits, everything. They haven't really found one that works perfectly yet, but we're working on it.
What are some common myths about epilepsy that you'd like to bust?
So a lot of people think you can swallow your tongue when having a seizure, which is not true. A lot of people think that when someone's having a seizure, you need to put something in their mouth, which is definitely not true. And a lot of people think that when someone is having a seizure and they're on their side, to constrain them and really hold them in place so they don't start convulsing. That's also not true. A small percentage of people are affected by strobe lights. It's not as many people as people would think.
So if someone was to see someone having a seizure, then what are some things that they need to know to actually help them?
So the first thing you need to do is make sure you put them on their side. The second thing you need to do is set a timer on your phone, because every time someone has a seizure, you don't need to call 911. It's only if it goes past 5 minutes. So you need to set a timer on your phone and just kind of look over the person and make sure that they're okay. But other than that, there's really nothing you can do.
What's some advice for people that might have been recently diagnosed with epilepsy?
I think my biggest piece of advice would be to keep in mind that anybody with epilepsy can do anything that a person without epilepsy can do, and it's important to just stay within yourself, take care of yourself, and you'll be okay.
So what was it like coming into ECU, being a college athlete, and knowing that you have epilepsy?
So when I committed to ECU, I didn't have epilepsy yet. And when I had my first seizure, my parents told Coach Oliver, which was really hard, and I was nervous that, she was going to be a little standoffish, because it's scary. But coming in, I had been a little over a year seizure-free, so I was really excited about that, and I wasn't really that nervous. But then after having a bunch my freshman year, being in and out of the hospital, it was a little nerve-wracking. But past my freshman year, I've been okay. I think freshman year is hard for everybody, but especially someone who has seizures caused by stress. So it was hard, but it was worth it.
What would you say the hardest part about being a college athlete is with having epilepsy?
The hardest part is definitely having to miss out on things, with my biggest trigger being sleep deprivation. Missing out on some 6 a.m.s in my collegiate career has been really tough, knowing that your team is out there working hard and you're not. So I would definitely say managing my sleep has been the hardest part. Obviously stress is important, but definitely sleep.
How do you stay so positive and have hope even on bad days with epilepsy?
It's really easy for me to stay positive because I have the biggest support behind me. I have the most support behind ECU athletics, my best friends, my family, Greenville. It means so much to me, and I think that's why it's so easy for me to stay positive, even on the worst days, because I know that there's people behind me who are understanding and becoming more educated on it.
What's the best thing that having epilepsy has taught you within the last 5 years?
So being a college athlete has given me a platform to be able to raise awareness on epilepsy. I've been able to meet a lot of people that have followed me on social media. I raise awareness through my social media posts. I love to keep my Instagram story active with a bunch of people who post pictures of kids who are a certain amount seizure-free. I've been able to have an article written on me, which was a huge blessing. We're having an epilepsy game this weekend, so that's exciting. But I definitely think being given a platform to be able to talk about it has been the best part. So 5 years ago, I had my first seizure. March 14th of this year, I was 2 years seizure-free. It's the longest I've made it since I've had epilepsy. I truly think that being able to talk about epilepsy is part of my purpose, and it's who I am today.
Courtney, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. This weekend, ECU Softball is having an Epilepsy Awareness game against Tulsa. So we would love if you would all come out and support. Admission is free and first come, first serve. Thank you for listening.